My husband left me and started a new life. Everyone thought I was a failed woman, but when the biggest secret behind his company turned out to be connected to me, the man who walked away from me came back to my door. When my husband left me, he walked away as if our 20 years together were nothing more than an old file that could be closed and placed on a shelf. He said he needed a fresh start, a new life where he could make his own decisions and no longer feel like he was standing in someone else's shadow. I didn't argue that day because some relationships cannot be saved through explanations. They can only wait for the truth to reveal itself. At first, everyone thought I was the reason our marriage ended. Slowly the whispers began. Some people showed sympathy, some stayed silent, and others looked at me like I was a woman who had been defeated by life. My husband moved on quickly, building a new company, meeting new people, and creating the image of a man who had finally found success. His social media was filled with business events, expensive suits, smiling faces, and the confidence of someone who seemed unstoppable. I stayed quiet, because I knew every story has a part that people never see. The last few years of our marriage had been complicated. From the outside we looked like the perfect family. During Thanksgiving dinners we would sit around the table, smile for pictures, and pretend everything was fine. But I knew how many silent moments existed behind those pictures. I attended PTA meetings, tried to be the perfect mother for our children, and our Sunday trips to Costco had once been a family tradition. We talked about our 401k retirement plans, and the future we thought we were building together. But eventually I realized something. We weren't building a future anymore. We were just trying to keep an old picture alive. When he left, I refused to let myself fall apart. It wasn't easy, but I learned there was a difference between sitting alone and actually being alone. At first, the quiet house felt painful. Then slowly that same silence became my strength. I rebuilt my life. I started understanding my finances, reconnecting with my old skills, and focusing on the work I had pushed aside for years because my family always came first. Long before my marriage ended, I had started working on a small business idea. But between raising children, managing the house, and supporting my husband, it was something that always remained unfinished. That same idea eventually became my greatest strength. At that time, my husband's company was growing quickly. People saw him as a successful entrepreneur, someone who had built everything from nothing. But the truth was, there was a part of that company's foundation that almost no one knew about. That part was connected to me. Years earlier, when Daniel was starting his company, I had helped him with research, analyzed customer behavior, and worked on parts of his market strategy. I never put my name on anything because, at the time, I believed we were a team. I didn't need recognition. I only wanted partnership. But after he left, I started recognizing my own value again. I went through my old documents, reviewed my notes, and slowly began building something of my own. I never wanted to hurt Daniel. I never planned revenge. I only wanted to find myself again. Then one day I received a phone call. A legal team wanted to speak with me. They explained that an issue had come up regarding one of my former company's most important business models. Certain documents contained references to my original work, and the company's biggest secret was connected to a framework I had created years earlier. The same framework Daniel had once called, "just a little help." Now it had become one of the most valuable parts of the company. A few days later, someone knocked on my door. I already knew who it was. Daniel was standing there. He didn't look like the same man who had walked away from me. The confidence was gone. The pride was gone. The certainty I had seen in his eyes when he left was no longer there. "I need to talk to you," he said. I let him come inside because I was no longer the woman who made decisions out of anger. He sat quietly for a while. Then he admitted that he never realized how important my work truly was. He said maybe the biggest mistake he made in our marriage was seeing me only as his wife, not as an equal partner. I listened. That was all I did. Because some answers don't need to be spoken loudly. I told him I wasn't happy that he was struggling, but I couldn't return to a place where my value was only recognized when someone needed something from me. That was my revenge. No screaming. No accusations. No dramatic scene. Just the fact that I had rebuilt myself. After that day, many things changed. My life became quieter, but it also became more peaceful. I learned that sometimes moving forward isn't about proving something to other people. Sometimes it's about reminding yourself who you truly are. Today, when I look back, I don't regret that my husband left. That period of my life was painful, but it created the woman I am now. I didn't defeat anyone. I simply found myself again. And sometimes the greatest success in life isn't when someone comes back. It's when they return and you realize you no longer need them to be whole. If this story inspired you or reminded you of the strength within yourself, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more powerful stories, emotional journeys, and life-changing lessons. Thank you so much for watching, supporting us, and being part of our community. Your support truly means everything to us.